Okay, so it's breakfast with Sports 101, and I'm sure today we're about to serve the hottest breakfast that you've ever tasted when it comes to sports. I have coffee here, I have Percy here. Guys, Saturday morning, what's been happening?
Charlie, Saturday morning, beautiful weather. Yep, we're shooting live from a very coded location, and I think we
Coded location,
yeah,
pa.
coded location, and we are all cheered for a wonderful morning.
Yeah.
I think that the weather calls for beautiful things, and
It's
we are
an interesting
definitely
weather.
bound.
Yeah.
We are definitely bound to have a beautiful show.
Exactly,
Yes.
and like Kofi said, we are at the Noble House Restaurant, an amazing place to bring your friend. I'll tell you more about Noble House, but off air, we're having a discussion, and we're looking at coaches, players. Who do you think is the most important element when it comes to the success of a team? Star players, star manager. Where do you stand?
Well, I think this is very difficult. This is very difficult because
I don't want you to have a middle ground.
yeah, I know.
Would you
but
prefer to have an average team and a star manager, or star players, star-studded players with an average manager?
Wow. Well, I think for security reasons, I'll go for players.
Star players.
Yes, I'll go for star players.
Okay.
Yes, I'll go for star players because
Security reasons.
I think that you can never discount the influence of coaches when it comes to molding the teams. Oftentimes, there's a cliche that a team is a replica image of the coach's characteristics or attributes. You understand? And so you have teams like Atletico Madrid play like their manager would. You understand? You've had teams like Chelsea, to a large extent Porto, like Inter Milan. That Inter Milan team that won the Champions League, that did unthinkable, going to the Camp Nou in the midst of fog, having to arrive at the Camp Nou by train and all of that brouhaha, and then played in the character of Jose Mourinho. Yeah, so it's true that there's an established cliche that teams oftentimes replicate who their manager is, you understand? But I think that irrespective of how brilliant a manager is, you need certain players who are tactically savvy. You need players who follow instructions to the core. And you need players of a certain ability to be able to change the course of the game. I say a certain ability because, see, when you have teams who are equally matched and tactically are almost at par, you realize that you need that special gift. You need that special talent to break through in times of difficulty or when the game is probably dead or not at parity. Understand? So I think that initially I agree that coaches make teams. You understand? But I think that for which is most important, I would go to battle any day with players.
Star players.
Star players.
Over a star manager.
Star players over a star manager. I'd rather go to battle with. I mean, when Argentina won the World Cup, it wasn't because their manager was so brilliant. It was because Lionel Messi and his friends were extraordinary. And when Portugal did unthinkable, yes, I mean, having created this wonderful Portuguese team. When Greece won the World Cup with the European Cup with that German coach.
Otto Rehhagel.
Yes. I mean, you think that, oh, okay, this is a manager who had molded the team, but I think that it was down to the players eventually.
Percy, star players, average manager, team A, star manager, average players.
Have you heard of this this adage that a group of sheep who are
Led by
a lion? Now, if you take players, there is no doubt that the main, should I say, proponents or the main people of the game is the players. I won't take that away. But then, what football has made me understand has to do with the coaches. And I'll give you a few instances. Probably that would be the best way for me to support my assertion. Real Madrid of 2014-2015, they had a very good team with Ancelotti. Very brilliant team. They couldn't win the Champions League. They couldn't win anything. The next team, 15-16, he was sacked, and there was Benitez who was brought in, a very top manager with also top players. There was Ronaldo, there was James, there was Bale, there was Benzema. Funny enough, about 6 months, not even 6 months, 5 months into his reign, he was sacked. Another manager comes in, same crop of players. And what happens to Real Madrid? They go for a three-peat with one league title in between. The only constant figure that changed was what? The coaches. A very good, another good example you can give is the Chelsea revolution.
Okay.
Every single time that one constant factor is changed, what's that constant factor? The coach. Everything turns around. They have a Europa League coach who has won in Andres Villas-Boas. He starts the team, and about 6-7 months into his coach, he's sacked. And they bring him a novice or somebody who actually knows the team in Di Matteo, and they go on to win Champions League. They start with Lampard. Lampard is the coach of the team with players they've had. You can call them star-studded players, no problem. The moment he goes off and Tuchel comes in, the unthinkable is done. I wouldn't want to go into a few discrepancies into times where there are very, very little to talk about the players, like the Greece team, like the Leicester team. You can even talk of the Leicester team because the only changes in the 2014-2015 that almost went on relegation, that is with Nigel Pearson. The only changes in that team were bringing on, N'Golo Kante, who came in, and Gökhan Inler. Gökhan Inler didn't even start. Marius was there the season before. Ojua was there. Vardy was there. Okazaki came in though. But the rest, Danny Simpson was there. Wes Morgan was there. Schmeichel was there. Albrighton was there. All of these players were there. But the moment there was a change in manager and there was Ranieri coming in, I told you the only constant, the change that came in was N'Golo Kante. And what happened? They did your thing, but I would say the greatest upset ever in football. That is the changes that a coach makes. Chelsea had gone 50 years without winning anything. Abramovich comes in. First season, he appoints, or there was a Claudio Ranieri in. He goes in the Champions League semi-finals. He also was second in the league. Mourinho comes in the next season. Although, of course, he brought in a crop of players, but he goes and wins back-to-back, and he leaves. And you realize that after Mourinho in 2006, Chelsea bought a lot of players, but they never won a league. The best they could do was to salvage maybe a Carling Cup, that is those times, and a Champions League final. But the moment they changed him into another top manager in Ancelotti, the funny thing is that when Ancelotti came in, they didn't, that's 2019, they didn't buy big players like they had been buying in previous season, because previously they had bought Balak, they had bought Deco, they had bought all of these players, Shevchenko, but they were not winning. But when the top manager came in, 9-10, then there was a change. So for me, the players, of course, are the main proponents of the game. But on a lot of instances that the same team, same crop of players, change of manager. Of course, you see that the players want to prove themselves, but change of manager, then the revolution comes about. So for me, especially in the national team, whatever goes on within the team,
it's all about the manager.
It's all about the manager.
I agree with both of you guys. Kofi will come in with his rebuttal, but this is where I stand. I feel that as much as it is true when it comes to a team, listen, the players are the major architect. You can be the greatest manager in the world. If players decide to undo you, they can easily undo you. But I'm tilted towards, I would prefer to have a top-notch manager with an average team. I'll give you a typical example. Manuel Pellegrini at Real Madrid. This is a man who was expected to handle players like Kaká, Ronaldo, Benzema, all these players. Yet they were trophyless. He didn't win anything. They had to sack him. You look at the trajectory of great managers that have, won major laurels. I'll give you a typical example. This Manchester City team, a lot of people think that this team is a star-studded team. It's not. If you look critically at this team, it's made up of an average set of players with barely about 3-4 star-studded players. I can say on authority that this Manchester City team, 70% of these players, they are average players. John Stones. I thought he was being bought. Who was he?
50 million.
I think that we are looking at this Manchester City team in terms of the price tag that, is down to the fact that the team is average and they have an average manager. If give this team to somebody like Thomas Tuchel, and I can tell you that he will change the fortunes of the team. A typical example is the example you gave when you spoke about the Lampard bit. The same team, Tuchel did not change anything, but he picked that same team that Lampard literally messed up, and they won the Champions League. Any team that wants to achieve something great, Jose Mourinho, FC Porto, Jose Mourinho, Inter Milan, was Diego Simeone of Atletico Madrid. That season, on their way to the final, they practically beat all the champions of the major seasons apart from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
They beat a German champion in Bayern Munich. They beat Barcelona. They beat the Premier League champions on their way to the final. That team is literally a Diego Simeone team. So for me, Kofi, I think that I would prefer having a top-notch manager manage an average team. You can do a lot with it than having superstars managed by Graham Potter.
Let me ask you a simple question. Let me ask yourself and Percy a simple question. Who is the greatest manager of this era?
Of this era.
Of this era. In the context of the Champions League.
In the context of the Champions League.
Who?
In this era?
Yes, in this era.
I think Zinedine Zidane, because in the context of the
Okay,
hold on,
yeah, on the
hold
corner,
on,
I would take
hold on,
Zidane
hold
because
on.
he's one to be.
Is Zidane a top manager?
Yes, he is.
Is Zidane? No, I am asking Lucky.
Okay.
Is Zidane a top manager? Would you rate Zidane ahead of Pep Guardiola?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, no.
No, hold on.
I wouldn't do that.
No?
I'll not do
No?
that.
So Zidane was, so in your words, Zidane was not a top manager.
Exactly.
He is a top manager.
Hold on.
He's a top manager.
Let's get better clarity. I have always rated Zidane ahead of Pep Guardiola. I mean,
I wouldn't do that.
No.
There's no way I would do that.
I do
Of
so.
course.
I do so because Zidane has only had one job, the biggest job in world football.
Okay, and he's
the
delivered.
biggest job in world football. You can have all your qualms you want about it, but he's had the biggest job in world football. He succeeded. He succeeded where no one else has even tried to succeed. In the context of the contemporary times, when you talk about the Champions League, we are talking about a team. No team has been able to do a back-to-back in the context of the Champions League. Then you have a manager managing the biggest team in the world. Was he a big manager?
No, for me, Zidane
We
is
have
not
big players.
He's a big manager.
Why do we call Ronaldo Mr. Ronaldo? Because I've heard people say that, Ronaldo was the reason why Zidane won all the trophies he won. So where lies the drift? I think, listen, if you are watching us, point is that I think that it's down to the players. See, my friends have always discredited somebody like Lucky constantly discredits Zinedine Zidane. Doesn't even think he's a good coach. I think I rate Zinedine Zidane better. Look at Pep Guardiola. Let's take the Pep Guardiola example. Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich, he inherits a treble-winning team, a team that had won the treble under Jupp Heynckes. What did he make of them? Great manager. I think people have even had the balls to call him the greatest manager of this era. Hell no! What did he make of that team? He made them a laughing stock in Europe. He made them a laughing stock. Under Pep Guardiola, they suffered the worst defeat they have suffered at the Allianz Arena. The 4-0 demolition by Ancelotti's Real Madrid. So, let's look at Pep Guardiola at City. Lucky goes on to make points that City is an average team. No way he saw me that theory that this City team is an average team. No. 2 seasons ago, we're talking about this Portuguese boy being the best defender in the world. You understand? Look at this City team. A team full of class. I think that if you want to judge Pep Guardiola's project, it doesn't have to be necessarily in the APL. You understand? Because I hold the premise that all the managers that preceded him virtually won everything he's won in the Premier League. You can decide to delve in the statistics and the numbers, but the truth is that they won everything Pep Guardiola won. He has not done anything different from what probably Mancini did or what Pellegrini did. The only difference that he has done is that he's been to a Champions League final. So I still think that yes, I mean coaches make teams, but Zidane needed a Ronaldo. Zidane needed a Gareth Bale. Zidane needed a Sergio Ramos.
So before Percy comes to the matter, again, the discussion is not on Pep Guardiola or this. But guys,
No,
if you're watching
we're
us,
just using this as
yes,
case studies.
as a case study. If you're watching us, this is our live show. It's our breakfast show with Sports 101. You cannot get this anywhere, and we are shooting from Noble House restaurant located off the beach road, roundabout. It's an amazing place. You need to check the place out. And we are live on Taddy FM. Hey, you cannot get it any other way with Taddy FM. We are live on Taddy FM. Make sure you share the link as well. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Sports 101 and engage us in the comment section. So that the question is, having average players with a top class manager and having a top class manager, an average manager with top class players, which would you prefer? So we have a team A managed by a top class manager, but the players are average. You have a team B, world class players, average manager. Which one would you prefer? Now, to Kofi's point, see, truth be told, Cancelo was literally sacked at Real Madrid. He was sold. They shipped him out. At Juventus, he was not even starting at Juventus. Cancelo's emergence as arguably one of the best defenders in the world was under a manager, Pep Guardiola, who won. It takes a very good manager. It takes a world-class manager to be able to see your talent, harness your talent, and get the best out of you. You can be as good as any player in the world, but if you do not have a manager, one who places you in the right system, for whatever motivation he gives you, creates the right atmosphere for you to perform, listen, you will never perform. Lionel Messi's greatest ever season or greatest ever achievement as a player in terms of club football came under Pep Guardiola because the manager decided that let me play him as a false number 9. In that season, how many goals did he score? 90 plus goals. Incredible, because one manager, despite the talent of Lionel Messi played under Frank Rijkaard. Lionel Messi even played under Pep Guardiola.
Mangala.
But the previous season,
Mangala.
You are stating Elike Mangala. These are average players. What's this guy? Sanya, that's that defender. These are average players, but they won the league under a manager who, Mancini. So for me, the truth of the matter is that, see, we can say all we want to say. Even the best of the players need the right atmosphere, the right tactics. Tata Martino, do you see that squad that Tata Martino coached? That Tata Martino team had a Messi, had a Neymar, had an Iniesta, had Xavi.
The guy was sick, man.
That Tata Martino squad, that same squad, Luis Enrique comes and wins the treble with them. So what is Kofi trying to tell me? For me, world-class manager over average, an average manager.
Let me just add. You see, Kofi was saying something and he was talking about Lionel Scaloni, and I'm so surprised. You have dealt more even into the club team. I want to do national team. Argentina of 2010. Let me give you the strikers they had.
That squad.
I'm coming. They had Diego Milito, who has scored almost 40 goals. They had Kun Aguero. They had Tevez. They had Messi. They had Higuain. I'm coming. These five, every single one of them has scored 20 plus goals. 3 of them have won Golden Boots. 2014, Sabella, same team. There was Palacio, the guy who scored the chance. Higuain,
Messi,
Tevez, Messi, Kun Aguero. Again, 2018, Sampaoli.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the list again.
Yeah.
Kun Aguero, Messi. I don't want you to go on and on and on. They sack all of these managers because they realize they are not progressing. Even 2002, there was Crespo, there was Batistuta, there was Veron. But they couldn't win.
All because they had an
2017, they decide to change everything. A lot of managers have. They decide to change everything. Then they bring in Scaloni. Now take Messi from this Argentine team. If you take Messi from this Argentine team, it is like a Black Stars team. No, it's a Black Stars team. Julian Alvarez is a bench player at City.
That's true.
McAllister plays for Brighton and Hove Albion.
That's true.
Lautaro Martinez does not start.
That's true.
Dybala does not start. If you take the back line, even Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, who is a giant at
he's an average
he
player.
does not even start. It's not like he's an average player. Who is Martinez? Their goalkeeper, pass penalties. What does he do in the post? Now this coach comes in. Let me take all of these star-studded players. Messi should be the center of the game.
Yeah.
And they play every single. Who is Rodrigo De Paul? What does he do? What does he even do at Atletico Madrid? He isn't even a starter. So you take Messi out. He assembles these teams. If you go to 1978, how even Argentina won? Carlos Velardo. If you take Kempes, you take Buichaga. Kempes was the only person who was playing in mainstream Europe. The rest were just average players. 86, Cesar Luis Menotti. I'm trying to say that, see, if you are talking about a man, especially in the national team, in the national team circles, listen, it is not. The funny thing is that the time that Brazil assembled the best players ever in 1982, they couldn't win. They were beaten by Paulo Rossi's Italy.
Literally, what Percy is trying to say.
It is not a matter of you assembling all the players. If you have a dumb-headed coach, Sampaoli and Tata Martino and his people to take an Argentina team with all of the strikers. Everybody roll, I've forgotten that guy.
Guys, the question still remains. Engage us in the comment section. Which would you prefer? A top-class manager managing an average, set of players, or world-class manager, players being managed by an average, let's say a Graham Potter, having all the stars. What do you think? I'll go back and read your comments, and we'll get to see what you guys are also saying. But don't forget, we are live on Tally FM 99.1. If you are not getting the opportunity to watch us on YouTube, make sure you tune in to Tally FM and enjoy. This is Breakfast with Sports 101. We are shooting from the amazing Noble House restaurant. You need to come and see everything they have it here. Great meal, great ambience, everything. So let me take the comments that have come so far from our YouTube channel. So Stratford Youngson is asking, is it a show for Sport One? Okay, he comes back to say, okay, Abel is saying, good morning, honorable men, all the best in your show. Great conversation, Kofi and team. Well done, guys. Keep it up. Emmanuel Kofi Awuni says he's here. Emmanuel, we see you. Master, there is no way Zidane come close to Pep Guardiola. This is in reference to Kofi saying that Zidane is a better manager than Pep Guardiola. Pep built the classless of City players. I agree. I feel that these City players are overrated. They are what they are because of Pep Guardiola. City isn't an average team, bro. He disagrees with me. He feels that this team is made up of world-class players. Emmanuel, we salute you. So somebody said the way I'm staring at Kofi, because I'm shocked for him to even say that Pep Guardiola is Zidane is a better manager than Pep. Like, why wouldn't I stare at him that way? Shout out to Mr. Percy. Then Mensa Aka comes to say, I really think coaching is leadership. I'm going to choose average players and a great team, a great coach. So guys, what do you think? Average team managed by a great coach, or great players managed by an average coach? That's the conversation we're having, but we need to switch up things. So we did a poll. We did a poll on the greatest African players to have ever graced the Premier League. And the contest is the Premier League. Not what they did in Europe, but the contest of the Premier League. And out of the poll, we had Michael Essien, Yaya Toure, Didier Drogba, Sadio Mane, and Mo Salah. I don't think that aside these 5 players, the poll gave us these 5 players. They didn't feel Nwankwo Kanu deserves to be in there. Seriously? As much as you can argue for Nwankwo Kanu and all of that he was part of the invisible team and all of that, but the poll they listed these 5 players. So, Michael Essien, Yaya Toure, I feel Yaya Toure deserves a mention. Didier Drogba, no doubt. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah. Who do you think is the GOAT of African players who have ever played in the Premier League? Let me start with Percy.
First of all, I will change my list.
Okay.
I will take one out. I don't know what Sane is doing there. Mane is doing there.
You feel Sadio
What
Mane...
is he doing there?
First of all, let's focus on why do you think Sadio Mane does not deserve a mention of the greatest players to have played in the Premier League?
He is one of the best players, African players, but we are narrowing it to 5. Listen, is it that you guys have forgotten about Nwankwo Kanu, or because we are Latter-day Saints, we have decided to limit whatever we have to... Who is Sadio Mane? What is his relevance in the league? What is his relevance? Kanu won the league twice. Mane once. Go and watch Arsenal versus
Mane and
Chelsea.
Salah once.
Once.
Put them in the same
Go
brackets for emphasis.
and watch Chelsea versus Arsenal. He came on. That was his first game. He scored a hat-trick at Stamford Bridge.
Okay.
See, it is on the big stages that you make your name.
So you feel that...
It's not what I feel. You can put the poll out.
you think that, but the poll indicates that Sadio Mane should be in there.
Because
Mo Salah should be in there.
Mo Salah fine.
Didier Drogba should be in there.
I'm not forget about the rest. I'm saying that my
So
list.
your list, give us your top 5 African players. Then who do you think
In no order.
is the greatest
That is in no
African player?
order.
He mentions Quentin Fortune.
When it gets to him,
JJ Okocha.
I'm coming.
Let's this might be a bit controversial.
So my list.
Your list.
My list.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure.
Yeah, true. In no particular
order.
order. Yeah.
Didier
And you
Drogba.
tell us, when you give your list, you tell us who is the greatest.
Okay, Didier Drogba. What's the name? Salah.
Yeah.
Kanu.
Uh-huh.
And what's the name of the other one?
Hey!
Michael Essien.
Tebili. Am I talking about okay, Michael Essien. Okay, so now, first of all, I've already taken Mane out. Because, if we are talking about the others, we can probably the bench and also talk. Now, how can I take him off? See, he was the main proponent of the City Revolution.
That I agree.
The goal he scored against Manchester United in the FA Cup final in 2011. That made them win their first.
So you say Yaya Toure is the greatest?
No,
You don't
Okay.
worry. Tell us who out of your list. Who is the
This
greatest?
should not be debatable.
Why are you saying it shouldn't?
It is Drogba. Let me tell you, listen. Drogba is more influential. In fact, he's of more relevance than Thierry Henry in Premier League. Didier Drogba. Listen, people will not talk about
Lord
this.
have mercy.
Didier
Lord
Drogba.
have
Didier
mercy.
Drogba. It's sad these conversations don't come to light. He is the most influential centre forward in the Premier League era. Who will you pick? Is it Kane? Is it Kun? He didn't just win the league. Every single time there was a Wembley, should I say, a connotation. He wasn't just about the league. He won everything for them. Listen, in the era of Drogba,
Yeah.
let me tell you the strikers that were available.
Yeah.
There was Rooney.
Yeah.
Rooney does not come close to Drogba in what he did for Chelsea. I'm not talking about Rooney as a player. I am talking about his influence in the team and making them win.
Yeah.
Drogba comes from Marseille, 26-year-old player. Of course, he was not a world-class player, but he was an okay player. He comes into Chelsea. 50 years, they've not seen the light of day in the Premier League. And he takes the Chelsea team by the horn. He leads them to the first league title, second league title. Of course, he won 2 golden boots, 07 and 2010. I'm not even talking about that because Rooney did not win a golden boot, but of course he's one of the top strikers. I wouldn't bring someone like I don't know why people. It's like we just started watching football. Salah is not fit to lace the boot of Drogba.
Focus on why did they
I am focusing because for all of these players, everything that they have achieved, Drogba has done it and done it better.
So for you, is Didier Drogba, Kofi?
I don't know why he decided to cut short Percy. Percy was. I know.
You're giving your time to.
Well, I give my time to him because I think that Percy is making. No, I mean, I honestly. Well, for me, I see all of this
He feels
disrespect.
money should not be in
No,
there. But you
yes,
think
yes.
Salah should also not be in
No,
there.
all of this disrespect we show to the likes of Didier Drogba, Michael Essien, Yaya Toure he ought to stop. He ought to stop.
Yeah.
It's a stats pad generation. You're interested in the figures. I mean, man, Salah scores a lot of useless, irrelevant
You know,
goals.
for Liverpool, he has,
yeah,
to help you for Liverpool, he has 100+ goals.
that's fine. How many league trophies?
That's
How many league
crazy.
trophies in how many
He has
years?
1 league trophy.
In COVID. That was the COVID league trophy. I mean, somebody is listening to us for the first time. Salah, Mane, they won the COVID trophy. When we were playing 2 weeks, we go home, rest for 3 weeks, come back, play 2 games,
Empty
rest, empty stadium, no supporters, no pressure. Please, I agree very well.
Yeah.
I think that, listen, I was not the biggest, or I'm not the biggest fan of Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
I think that Didier Drogba as a player had his limitations.
Yeah.
But Didier Drogba
Yeah.
was a force of nature.
I like the use of that word, the force of nature.
Yes, the guy was simply a force. He was a beast. You understand? Because if you put Didier Drogba on the shoulders of any defender, they'll tell you he's the biggest threat you will ever get to play against. Not just physically, in terms of his intelligence, in terms of his movement, in terms of brute force. I think that the greatest player to have played the EPL,
African player.
in
a contest of
Didier
the Premier
Drogba. See, there have been some
There's
Celestine Babayaro.
been Babayaro, there's been JJ Okocha.
JJ Okocha.
There's been
We can talk about
South
people,
African captain, Lucas Radebe,
even Tony Yeboah.
Tony Yeboah.
You understand? All of these players.
But all these players that you
I-
mentioned, their greatness is bits and pieces to their class. But in terms of the impact in the Premier League,
Well, I think Didier Drogba was class personified. Honestly, Didier Drogba, the man for the big occasion. The guy will not simply show up, but we put him on the biggest of stages. Didier Drogba will deliver.
That's what makes you a great player.
And you see, the thing that we need to realize also is that in the team that Didier Drogba found himself in, there were prima donnas in that team.
Of course.
There were supreme alpha male players in that team. There was Frank Lampard, there was John Terry, there was Ricardo Carvalho, there was Balak, there was Shevchenko. There were all of these players. But to have an African player rise and become the most prominent figure in that dressing room. I mean, listen, when they went to the Allianz Arena and did what they did against Bayern at the home turf of Bayern.
Bayern team.
Come on, I mean, Didier Drogba, GOAT, unrivaled, unparalleled.
Guys, what do you think? So we've switched up the conversation. We are looking at the GOAT of African players in the Premier League. And Percy feels that the poll has a slight snag. Sadio Mane should not be in there, and feels that someone like Nwankwo Kanu won the league twice, as well as he was part of that invisible team. And those of you who don't know Nwankwo Kanu, when he came from Ajax, trust me, take away Dennis with Ajax. Take away Dennis Bergkamp. Nwankwo Kanu was one of the skillful players in the Premier League at the time, as lanky as he is. So the question then is, who do you think is the greatest African player to have ever graced the Premier League? I'm not going to speak because I think it's unanimous. These guys, wait till I will talk. These guys have already said it. They feel it's Didier Drogba. I agree with them. As much as I may have tilted towards Yaya Toure a little bit, but Drogba shades him in terms of league trophies that have been won.
Europa and Champions
No, I'm saying in the context of the League. So whatever they did in Europe is a bit outside the context of the league. Didier Drogba shades because Drogba won 4, Yaya Toure I think won 3. But truth be told, I feel that Didier Drogba is the greatest African player. And these guys have spoken, waxed lyrical about him, but I want to look at his leadership ability, his ability to carry the team. He wasn't just a force of nature in the box, but even in defense. He was one of those few strikers that defensively, he's that guy that you would always see him in defense when there's a corner kick, when there's a free kick. He was the team. Jose Mourinho, I listened to an interview where he spoke about 3 players that wherever he goes, and if he could carry these players, Michael Essien, Didier Drogba, and John Terry. And for an African player of Didier Drogba's status to be that, seen as that prominent in the face of a manager like, Jose Mourinho, I feel that it's very telling. So I think that is unanimous from the team here. Maybe the new school errors may have something to say. I do not know. But I think that, listen, the squad, the team, Sports 101, we want to agree with the poll that puts Didier Drogba ahead of all other African players. So to make the discussion interesting, rank your top 5, then when we move to the next, your top 5 players to have ever played in the Premier League. Not necessarily the pool that I give out. From your perspective.
Didier Drogba, Michael Essien.
Give us your top 5 players.
Well, my top 5, I would go with Didier Drogba.
As one?
Number 1. I'd go Yaya Toure, number 2. I'd go with Michael Essien, number 3. Then I would probably go with who? No, I don't Didier Drogba number 1.
I don't know what Salah
number
do.
2. Which one?
I don't know what Salah do.
Salah, anytime I see Salah, he's running. So anytime I see him on my TV, he's running.
Drogba 1, Yaya Toure
2,
Essien
3. I'll probably go with Celestine Babayaro. Number 4. I'd go with Babayaro.
He didn't win the league.
And then I'll end with Mikel Obi.
Wow.
Yeah.
So put your top 5 in the comment section. Put it there on our Facebook and our YouTube. Put it there. Let's see what people think. Your top 5.
Obviously, it's
Drogba.
Yaya
Toure.
Essien
3. Essien over Salah.
Is it because he wasn't scoring goals? Are we talking about best goal scorers?
You continue your top 5.
Thank you. So I'll put Salah for everything he's done.
Yeah.
And Nwankwo Kanu 5.
So my top 5: Didier Drogba 1, Yaya Toure 2, Essien 3, Nwankwo Kanu 4, Salah 5.
So you guys don't respect Mikel Obi?
No, listen, I'm talking about as much as whatever Mikel Obi did, he was part of a great team. They won the Champions League, but
he was the player no manager could drop.
That is not an issue. But I look at Nwankwo Kanu, what he did with that Arsenal team. How many players were African players at the time that were playing in the Premier League? At the time, Kanu was in the Premier League, and he wasn't just a part player. He was a starter for Arsene Wenger in that invisible team. So mine, Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure. For me, if Yaya Toure was a Brazilian, he would probably be ranked among one of the best midfielder to have ever played the game.
Yaya Toure was a great
Yaya
player.
Toure was an amazing player.
Oh, then we forget his brother Kolo Toure.
He wouldn't be in the first 20.
He will not be in the first 20.
Because
so
of
for
the
me,
drug abuse?
Didier Drogba 1, Yaya Toure 2, Essien 3, Nwankwo Kanu 4, Salah 5. So what do you also think? Who is the greatest African player to have ever played in the Premier League? And then give us your top 5. I'll go to the comment section and read what you think. But then don't forget, we are shooting live from Noble House Restaurant. Kofi, amazing view, amazing place.
Amazing place.
If you need
Amazing
a place to
ambience.
spend the weekend, enjoy meals and all that, this is the place to be. And Tadi FM. Listen, we are live on Tadi FM, the station that has taken over everywhere. Tadi FM 99.1 FM. Quickly. So, the Black Stars. Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling.
I bring the issue of the Black Stars. No, Kofi, you are
Your
smiling.
national team.
The Black Stars took on Angola just this past, Thursday. What a game. I love the game from the perspective of how good a team can defend in the shape of Angola. How they built the blocks. Trust me, it was a very well tactical, thought out plan. The Black Stars struggled, but they cracked them down in probably the last kick of the game. I think the 95th minute of the game. We'll look at that game, but the center of our discussion will be, what should Chris Hughton do to succeed where other Black Stars managers have failed? Because for me, qualifying for the World Cup is a normal thing right now for most Black Stars. Even our own Kwesi Appiah did it. Name them. We've gone to the World Cup countless times. It's not about going to the World Cup. It's about the impact you make at the World Cup. But in terms of success, you are looking at winning major laurels with the Black Stars. And that's one thing almost every single manager that has come in the modern era has failed. What should Chris Hughton do? Maybe then you can chip in a little bit on the game. But what should Chris Hughton do to ensure he succeeds where all other managers have failed?
Well, to the game, let me talk about the game briefly.
Yeah.
The game, cross and inshallah. Same strokes, different vibes. Different vibes, same stroke. I didn't see anything different about the Black Stars. I think the only difference I see has to be the change of managerial, whatever, whoever has the managerial position. What should he do? I'm not one of those people. I will not sit on set and pretend to be one of those people who like Chris Hughton.
Why don't you like him? Why don't you like him?
I don't think he will add anything to the Black Stars. I think Ghanaians are talkatives. I think that we sacked the best coach available at this material time because
Who was the
probably
best
we are
coach?
politicians. Which one?
Who's the best coach?
Otto Addo, obviously.
Asimo.
I think that for this project we were undertaking, Otto Addo was the best coach for the particular job. So I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Hughton. What would he do? He would probably have to sack the whole of the GFA people, the people at the GFA. That's the only thing he can do for him to survive. Because if he doesn't change the hierarchy at the GFA and doesn't tone down their meddling in the affairs of the Black Stars, people have said that people like Chris Hughton are definitely independent-minded. They are going to be their own managers. They are going to take their own decisions. But I think that at this point, I am not too convinced. Last week, Sunday, I was telling you that if you want a manager who can break the era, who can break the ice, we talk about the fact that the last time we won a major trophy was in 1982
82.
in Libya.
Yeah.
41 years ago.
I
You
wasn't
understand?
born back then.
Yes, I mean, if we had given birth to a son, you understand, he would have be aspiring for an MP by now. 41 years ago,
He
you
will
understand?
just-
41 years ago.
He grew.
And I am saying, all I'm saying is that the manager comes in, says that the guys, like, listen, if you guys are looking for a manager who will play great offensive football, I'm not the one. If you are looking for a manager who will play the best defensive football, I'm neither the manager. I am a manager who will come in and get you the results. What is the point? He's preparing our minds for failure. Those were the words of Chris Hughton.
That's a very good point.
Because listen, people think that I overly love Manchester United. Probably I'm too fixated on Eric Ten Hag. Listen to the manager's words. Listen, even my good friend Xavi. Even as he no get comfy, the vibes coming from him very positive.
Yeah.
You understand? Every game is a final.
Yeah.
We are treating every game as a final.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think that you look at somebody like Chris Hughton, the things that he's saying, I don't think he inspires a lot of confidence. But there again,
What should he do?
It was a lucky. What should he do?
We all want him to succeed.
Well, I think that what he needs to do is simple. Pretty much, aside me not liking him and not having a lot of affiliation for the Black Stars, I say affinity, if I should put it that way. I think that the thing that he needs to do is that, one, he needs to get the best Ghanaians playing for the Black Stars. We've tolerated a lot of nonsense in this country. You understand? We've tolerated the Baba. What's the name of that?
Baba Rahman.
Baba Rahman nonsense.
injured, that was why he
No, we've tolerated that nonsense for too long a time, and there've been other lingering issues. You understand? So he needs to get the best Ghanaians playing for the national team. He needs to look at the best Ghanaians playing in the best positions for the national team. I'm the biggest fan of the Ayus. You understand? I will not allow anybody to touch Dede or Jordan, but I think that there comes a time when a manager has to get the balls to make the best decision.
Yeah.
When is that time? I think that at this material time, Dede should not be our starting number 10. Do you understand? I think that we need to look at the new era. Kudus's body of work for Ajax this season and subsequent season has shown that this is a time that we can trust that young man to play in that creative hub, you understand? To play in that creative position and to make sure that we are getting the best for our forward lines. Number 3, I think that he should not dabble in unnecessary politics.
What do you mean by you should not double?
Listen, look at what happened to Nigeria yesterday.
Talk about Nigeria tomorrow when we do our show.
We'll talk about Nigeria tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you see, you talk about Nigeria, you talk about the coach having not been paid for too long a time, you talk about a lot of politicking. And then you talk about members of the coaching staff engaging in that sort of politicking.
Yeah.
I think that if Chris Hughton wants to survive, listen, Curtis is the ultimate politician. He wants to run for another term, but not under some of us watches. You understand? Not under my watch. I obviously, if I have the opportunity to campaign against him, I'm going to do so with all of my heart. So help me God. You understand? The point I'm making is simple. He should stray away from the politics. When you stray away from the politics, I'm happy that somebody like Paintel was introduced into the squad. One of the best Ghanaians playing in Europe at this material time. Maybe with time, we'll get to ease in gradually into the team. So, strays away from the politics. Do not meddle in all of the dirty politicking. Do not pick any sides. Do your job, walk upright, and then you're able to show your chest that you have taken the best decisions for Ghana. I think that when he does that, this team, to be truthful, has so many talents.
Yeah.
I think that this Ghanaian team is that talented that if we are moving under the right direction, we should be able to break that jinx very soon.
Percy, for the game, we'll have a show tomorrow to probably delve into the game. But the major talking point has been the appointment of Chris Hughton. I think that yesterday a lot of people were waiting to see Thursday if that game we had drawn that game. I'm sure the naysayers would have come hard. The vultures would have come probably seeking to devour his corpse. A lot of managers have failed. Listen, truth be told, Chris Apia failed to give us any trophy. Name him, the Serbian, Rajevac, Milo, all of them. Even, they've all failed. The last thing we want to do is spend so much money on any manager who comes in and gives us nothing. All in the name of, I qualified you for the World Cup. Well, I qualified you to the World Cup. I took you to the second round of the World Cup. We've seen that before. We've done that before. For Chris Hughton to succeed, let's go straight to the point. What should he do to ensure that I will succeed? Well, other managers have failed.
There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do to ensure his success.
So is he going to fail? Is he going to succeed?
The funny thing is that for Ghana or the Black Stars to succeed, it doesn't just need Chris Hughton. Yeah. The funny thing is that every team that has thrived, or let me take African team that has thrived over the time, has thrived on the backbone, or from the backbone of what the Football Federation has done. Yeah. And it's most of the time, it's not necessarily the local league, but from what the Football Federation has done with its academy. Yeah. We are now here talking about Senegal. You see, for Senegal, it doesn't have to do with that it's luck.
Let me help you with this argument. Do you know, in the absence of Mendy, the guy who is manning their post right now, I saw their game against Mozambique yesterday. Brilliant display from Senegal. They beat them by 5-1. The goalkeeper, he's a graduate from Clairefontaine.
I was coming to it.
A Senegalese academy. Immediately, Mendy left his club. Where did Mendy come from? Rennes. He was the guy. The Senegal collaborated with Clairefontaine to ship him to Rennes. When Rennes felt that he was too young, they shipped him to an Italian team. He's in the Italian team. It's Monza right now, helping them to come from the Serie B. It's like there's a proper system.
I'm coming to it. So you've even helped me with that Senegalese bit. You check what they are doing.
Quickly. You
check the structures they put in place.
Yeah.
Since you've talked about Senegal, let me move to Morocco.
Yeah.
Now you realize that they were just, even their, Mohamed the Faith was just given an award for whatever they did. The Moroccan team that went to the semi-final, 3 of them were from the Moroccan graduate system or their academy system. See that lanky guy in the midfield, number 8, Onohi. Nobody knew him.
Being quoted by most clubs in the world.
Nobody knew him. The Portugal national team coach, that's, what's his name? Santos. He was like, when they were beaten, he was like, who is that guy? He's just too good.
So quickly wrap up for us.
What I'm trying to say is that we can change coaches. We can even bring Jose Mourinho, who is deputed by, maybe the deputy will be a Pep Guardiola. It is not about the number of different coaches that we bring, because it's just like the national team does not give you the time to assemble players and put them together. And the funny thing is that it is not like a club system that maybe you can break everything down and start again. You don't just feed away everyone and start everything new and expect to get success instantly. You integrate the old, you take a little of the new. That is what you do.
So, in your honest opinion, he will only succeed if the FA or the system put in place for Ghana football is set.
It's set.
Okay, so join in this conversation in the comment section, and even on our Facebook page, you can join the conversation. What should Chris Hughton do to ensure he succeeds as a Black Stars manager? But then, on the bit of Chris Hughton, then we move to another big club. This conversation we're having off air, the team we're having this conversation off air. You know, guys, United, they search for manager. They roam around till then they search for a number 9. 2 names pop up right now. 2 names pop up. Some figures say if they are going to look for a number 9, the player they should sign is Harry Kane. Others feel Harry Kane is 30. This guy is about fading off. The hottest property in world football now be Victor Osimhen, Napoli. The guy is scoring for fun. Champions League. I mean, he's just scoring for fun. And so in United's quest for a number 9, you are the United fan. Who should United go for? Harry Kane, Osimhen? And viewers, I'm throwing this question out there to you. Again, engage us in the comment section. In United's search for a number 9 next season, because Ten Hag has said that they actually need a number 9 to replace Cristiano Ronaldo and all the strikers they've missed out. So there's Victor Osimhen, there's Harry Kane. If you're a Manchester United manager, who would you pick and why? Kofi?
Well, I think this is
Pick Charlie, for all those watching us from Europe, UK, Germany, the super stickers, keep them coming. We appreciate all the support. So kindly send the super stickers and we love you for that.
Well, I think this is a very difficult question, very, very difficult question, and I think that we are talking about experience over time, and then I would probably want to push the other as an exciting prospect. I think Osimhen is a wonderful experiment that hasn't actualized, in my candid opinion. I love Victor Osimhen. I think that he has all of the things that he needs to be a top striker. I look at his body of work in the Champions League for Napoli. I look at his body of work in the league with Napoli. I look at some of the games that he's rested and he's done the unthinkable. I think he's an exciting prospect. But there again, you'd have to look at the body of work of Harry Kane. At 30 years, I mean, people think that Harry Kane can be the new Van Persie. You know, when Manchester United had gone a long haul without winning the league trophy, Fergie decided to reach out to Arsenal's captain, gave him the number 20 jersey, and then Van Persie wore the number 20 jersey and led Manchester United to their 20th league title. People think that Harry Kane can be the new Van Persie in the sense that the arguments they have made, and I tend to side with them, that if you're looking for a player who is easily adaptable to the league that you play in, because Manchester United's first initiative will have to be breaking that jinx of not winning the league trophy. Without winning the league trophy, you cannot dream about going to Europe and do exploits. Yes, I agree that there are caveats to that particular principle. So would you rather align with somebody who knows the league and is feared in the league?
That'd be interesting point.
In Harry Kane, you understand? And people make the point that Harry Kane is 30. Harry Kane, yes, he's been characterized by injuries for a bit in his career, but he's not that kind of player who goes off injured for a long time. So Harry Kane, I should say, has 4-5 years more quality top-notch football in him.
You think so?
Yes.
5 years?
Yes, I think 5 years.
He can play football till he's 35?
With the evolution in sports science, nothing is impossible when it comes to keeping the physical attributes of these players. So I think that I'm excited by Osimhen, but if I would go for a safe bet, I'd rather align with Harry Kane, because for me, Harry Kane is the complete player. He's everything. He's everything you want in a striker. He can hold on play. You see the season when he and Heung-min Son were doing the unthinkable in the
he
league,
actually
making goals and
won the assist.
making assists.
He
You
led the
understand?
assist table.
Exactly. So he's somebody who can give you everything you want in a striker. And I think that he's somebody who perfectly fits into the system of somebody like Eric Ten Hag. Because you look at Kwame Yogurt, that's what my friend called him, Weghorst. You understand? You look at Weghorst, you look at how hard he works, how he's able to hold on to play, the chances that are made for him. You would want to probably put a Harry Kane in there and think that, okay, if Harry Kane is in this United team, with all of the creative elements in there, Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, Casemiro, Rashford, was Sancho, all of these players when they are back, I think that Harry Kane will be a fantastic addition, in my candid opinion. A fantastic and a safer addition.
So Kofi is of the view that United's search for a number 9 should be Harry Kane. I mean, yes, Osimhen is great, but Harry Kane at 30, he still feels Kane can play till like he's 35. But there's a poll on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel. I don't know why I keep saying Facebook, but that's what happens on our YouTube channel. Should United go for Harry Kane or Victor Osimhen? Victor Osimhen, very young. He's one for the future if he stays off injuries. Harry Kane is 30 plus. Banking your hopes on him is like 50-50 because one devastating injury and you're likely not to get the best out of him. And when United get him, are they going to look for a new striker after a season or two? That's the argument people are making for Victor Osimhen. Percy, what do you think? United are looking for a number 9 this summer. They will definitely sign a number 9 this summer. Between Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen, if you were Ten Hag, who would you recommend?
For this, I think I'll have to align with Kofi. I'll have to align with him.
You guys, they agree.
Yes.
like today, you guys have always.
Oh no, it's because of what experience and what we've seen before. Remember Ciro Immobile in 2014?
Yeah.
Yes, you remember him.
Italy to Dortmund.
Yes, he was the top scorer, and he was one of the hottest and he moved to Dortmund, a relatively not so much of a top team.
And rate your argument to look at Tony moving to Bayern Munich.
I'm coming there. He moves there, and even with Dortmund, it was difficult for him to succeed. And funny enough, he comes back to Lazio, and he wins the Capo Canonieri again. And the same thing goes with you talked of Luca Toni, moving straight from Fiorentina, scoring over 30 goals. And he moves to Bayern, and I don't think they remember he even played for him.
A lot of people don't even.
They don't even remember.
Look at Tony.
They don't remember he played for him. The same thing for Roy Mackay. He moves from La Coruña Deportivo. He moves to Bayern Munich, and he couldn't fill the shoes of Giovanni Elba. He couldn't fill his shoes. So the same thing. I'm not saying the same thing will go for him, but this is the season that he's bloomed very well, no doubt. But the sad thing is that you are not moving into a relatively equal team. I'm not talking about that, I beg you. You are moving into a high-octane team. Yeah. If you think, you see, one of the attributes of Osimhen is that he's strong. He could rely on defenders. But you are coming to meet Ruben Diaz. You are coming to meet Van Dijk. You are coming to meet equally bulky defenders. Konate. You are coming to meet your African brother in defense. High octane, 90 minutes. And moving into a new setup like this, there are 3 things that he's going to consider. 1, he will come for a big money move that will weigh on his head. And the sad thing is that in the past few years, probably the only players that I can mention that have had big money moves that are successful, Cristiano Ronaldo, 100 million from Real Madrid to Juventus. Nobody remembers it because he's delivered. Take him out. Mention the rest. Who has delivered? Maguire, Pogba, Darwin Nunes, Sancho. I keep mentioning on and on and on and on. Even Neymar. All the big money moves. Most of them have not because the Messi was free. It has weighed on them. Two is adaptability. You are moving from Premier League and you are coming into a team that is in Serie A. At one in the Premier League, two, a team with high demand, very, very high demand. I look at Sancho right now and I feel sad. He was one of the I'm not saying that everything is lost though, but he was one of the biggest prospects in the world. But one, the demand of United on him, it was too difficult for him to and unfortunately too, there have been injuries to that have plagued him. Now he comes into a Premier League. United now, definitely next season, they would want to win the league because the first season at least was to put some things together. And bringing him into the team, he would want to show. And the next thing is competition. Because you move from Italy. As of now, the only top strikers there are himself, Immobile, who is injury plagued. I can't bring Lukaku. He's not. Dzeko is aged. Lautaro Martinez, you can't really make a case for him.
That's an interesting point.
And Giroud, there is no competition. Look at the person who is third in even in the Cabo Carinieri, Ademola Lookman.
Yeah. Who actually moved from Leicester City.
Their own striker, who is Duvan Zapata, is nowhere near. So there is no competition. That you move into a league. Look at what Haaland is doing. There is Kane. There is Salah. Darwin Nunez may come good. Rashford, even the person who is playing on your left wing will compete with you for goals. So considering all of these things, and this is also his first season of coming onto the scene. Okay. I would not say he should stay at Napoli. But it should be a step-by-step move. From Napoli, he could possibly move to another Italy because you look at AC Milan right now. They don't have a striker. I won't call Giroud a striker. There's Giroud, there's Brahim Diaz, there is a Origi. So for me, United's best choice should, because for Kane, he's had everything but a title.
United's best choice is Harry Kane.
Of course, he has everything at United. There's adaptability, there is everything, there is a team. It's more or less like Harry Kane is a bean seed that is, United is the loamy soil with all the water. He fits in and he's not now trying to think of things to make him succeed, but for Osimhen, he's like wheat in the desert. He has to now find his way to succeed in everything that he does.
Guys, you see the United fans, the way they are
it's not about you.
the way they are waxing lyrical. This is what I think, and people may disagree. People talk about, oh, he's not adaptable to the Premier League and all of that, and you cite examples of players that have moved directly from the Serie A. Like I even helped you out, look at Tony, Ciro Immobile. But likewise, for me, if you're a striker and you are good, you are good. If you're a world-class striker and you are good, you are good. You do not need to have played in the league for a number of years, even if it's the Premier League. Yes, people talk about the Premier League, but I always say it's not necessarily the Premier League. It's the system that you play in the team that plays in the Premier League. Listen, Haaland came from the German league, didn't he? Haaland did not come from the German league. At the time he was playing in the German league, what was the competition? His only competition was, Robert Lewandowski.
That's a competition.
But in the Premier, he also had Ciro Immobile. That's a competition. Immobile in the Italian league is a big shot. You agree?
Of course.
Exactly. My point is, if you play in a system under a manager that can get the best out of you, under a manager that can very well motivate you, under a manager that can play in a system that would enhance your qualities, you don't need to have played in the league. At the time Ruud van Nistelrooy was coming to Manchester United, he was coming from lowly Ajax. PSV. He walked into PSV, took the league by storm. Didier Drogba, from a lowly Marseille in the French league, nobody knew Didier Drogba at the time.
I think they made exploits in the Europa League.
That is not the issue. But the point is, he was coming from literally the 5th ranked league in the world. He walks into the Premier League, first season, boom, 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 boom. We are here sitting talking about Didier Drogba as the greatest striker to have ever, from the African descent, to have ever graced. And even Percy goes further to even, makes a very serious argument by saying he is even better in terms of impact than Thierry Henry. We can that question there, don't forget. We'll probably look at that. But my point is that, listen, there are examples of players who have moved into the Premier League for the first time and have taken the league by storm, and the rest is history. Why not Osimhen? Is he a good player? Yes. Is he somebody who fits the bill as one of the best strikers in the world currently? Yes. He's playing under one of the best managers currently, one of the best teams in the world currently. We can even stretch the argument to say Napoli is the best team in the world currently. They are playing some of the best football in the world. He's very, very young. Listen, Harry Kane, yes, you can wax lyrical. What does he want? You want a winner. Osimhen, for me, oh, come on. We all know this league is a given. This league is a given for Manchester United. This league is a given for Napoli. The point is that, listen, you are bringing in a player. United has not won anything major in the last 6, 7, 5 seasons. So whatever player you bring, make sure the player has the mentality of a winner. I don't think Harry Kane has the mentality of a winner. He's stuck in a team that is so used to mediocrity. He's used to not winning anything. He's comfortable. He's a player who signed 6-year contract to stay in a team that has not won anything in his life.
But I mean,
I'm coming.
No.
I mean, you have the time for a batter. My point is that United currently need players. Why do you think the introduction of Casemiro has literally turned around a lot in terms of the mentality of Manchester United? You will agree with me that the introduction of Casemiro is one of the reasons why Manchester United is what it is right now. One, Casemiro brings a winning mentality that none of the Manchester United players, have. Casemiro has seen it all at the highest level. So you see, if by the time Osimhen moves, I know he would have won the Italian Serie A. So he comes in as a winner. He knows what it takes to lift a trophy, major trophy at that, at the highest level. This is a Harry Kane, even in the Champions League, when Spurs needed him the most against a lowly AC Milan, he failed to deliver. At what point at the biggest stages of European or club football has Harry Kane delivered? You tell me. Look at Osimhen. In the Champions League, he's beating Liverpool at their highest, at their top level. Listen, I agree. Harry Kane has seen it all. Maybe the only argument people make for Harry Kane is adaptability. He's adapted to the league, and so he will not struggle to adapt to the league. Listen, this is an African boy who is hungry for success. He's coming into this league knowing that, yes, there is pressure on me. Trust me, under the right conditions in terms of a good manager, a good system, Osimhen will blossom. So I would prefer Manchester United pick somebody who I know has a lot of years ahead of him. Kane is 30 years. That old man, United want a striker. They want to employ an old man. I don't know. For me, Osimhen any day.
Well, final words on this particular topic. I think that goes back to your point you made about choosing coaches over players.
Yeah.
I mean, Harry Kane's coach is Conte. Listeners can make whatever argument that they want to make out there with Conte and Harry Kane. You understand? The coach in charge of Harry Kane is Conte. So you can make that
To
argument.
help Kofi's argument.
That's fine.
Didn't Jose Mourinho coach Harry Kane?
That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
didn't Jose Mourinho coach Harry Kane?
Well, so,
Didn't Pochettino coach Harry Kane?
so
What did they win?
That's fine. That's fine. So
Don't bring in Conte here.
I think that the other issue is not really about the fact that he is hungry or he's old. It's about consistency. As he sits in here now, Osimhen is still an example. It's still an example. You understand? I've seen Darwin Núñez do what he did with the
Benfica.
Portuguese team last season.
He was the best
And I'm
player.
seeing Darwin Núñez now. I saw Darwin Núñez in Europe against some of the very best teams
But
in
Darwin,
Europe.
has he failed
You
at
understand?
Liverpool? No.
No.
Has he
Oh,
blossomed
come on. I mean,
last
Darwin
season by
Núñez
this
now, he's failed.
Did you watch him last
His
season?
His numbers are good.
Let's not go there. So it's not really about how old Harry Kane is. I think that it's the issue of consistency.
Uh-huh.
The issue is that with Harry Kane, you are sure that you get 20 plus goals every season.
Is United looking for a striker who will score goals, or United is looking for somebody who
United,
will aid them to
no,
win
no,
trophies?
there
the
are
goals
no,
that
no.
made
Hold
them
on,
win.
hold on, hold on.
Rashford
hold
has
on.
scored how many
No,
goals in
No,
the-
no.
I-
Hold on.
let-
Just a
let-
quick one.
Okay,
Just a
after
quick
that,
one.
I'll just come in.
United does not need the personality of Harry Kane to win
No.
trophies.
United need
No.
goals to win trophies.
No, United does not need. There are enough winners in that dressing room. You talk about Casemiro, there's Varane.
They need more.
You understand? Why hasn't he won? You talk about World Cup winners in that squad. You talk about Lisandro Martinez. You talk about all of these players. And my good friend who plays, the Brazilian who is always doing like this on the ball. Didn't he win? Oh, come on. Didn't he win trophies with Ajax? How different is Osimhen in terms of winning trophies from Anthony?
It's the reason why United won the Carabao.
Let me just make a quick one. Now, talking about Harry Kane's move, you can compare it with that of Van Persie.
Yeah.
You know the
The season before.
Yeah.
11-12, that was when City won the league. Ferguson had between Lewandowski and Van Persie, if probably you didn't know that. He also, a season before too, he had between De Gea and Neuer, but between Van Persie and Lewandowski, he won.
60 seconds.
Within that time, he said that he will never allow his team to lose the league trophies with goal difference. That was what Ferguson said.
That's Ferguson.
I'm coming. I am coming, please. I am coming. If you check United's goal difference right now, for everything they've had, United's goal difference is a single digit as compared to that of Arsenal.
Should I help you here? Okay, so the current terrain of the Premier League, it's not about your goals, it's about your points, because you're playing against teams who are not just scoring goals, they are racking up points. City. All throughout
Why
the
is City
season,
racking up
all
points?
throughout
of
season.
the goals.
See,
It's because of the goals.
let me
United needs now is goals.
let me help you here. City never, for 3 seasons running, Aguero was injured. City for 3 seasons running did not play with an out-and-out striker. They played with makeshift
It was
players
just a
playing.
season.
No,
It was just a
I'm
season
talking
that
about
they
the
played with
inconsistency of Aguero. There was, I think, 2 seasons before they won their 3rd league trophy. Aguero was literally injured for half of the season. Now, my point is that City have been able to do all that they've been able to do, not necessarily because they've had a striker who has been able to put in 30 league goals, 25 league goals. It's a collective effort, and there's a system that has worked. That's why I'm saying that it's not so much of Harry Kane scoring. Do they need somebody who score goals? If it is that, no. Do you need a striker who, when you know he comes in, this guy can aid us to deliver trophies? So all that you are going on and on about saying, oh, goal defense, yes, it may work at some point, but the truth of the matter is that you can have a player score 30 league goals and still not win the league. Last season, who won the what is it called? The Golden Boot?
Salah, I should say.
Salah and what's his name? The season that it was joined between
It's
Salah and Son. How many goals did they score? They scored 20 plus goals. But what did Tottenham achieve? What did Liverpool achieve? My point is that it's not necessarily the number of goals. You see,
How many
it
instances?
should go
No,
beyond goals.
Like, you can't use this instance. You've just taken one.
Talk about it. If you want to make a case, if you want to make a case, you need to take about 3 or 4. If you take from 2010 till now,
5 minutes.
if you take from 2010 till now, it is not something that has been almost every time that a team, has a golden boot winner. It is a 50-50 thing. You are making it look like if the team, the time that Kane scored 30 goals, 30 league goals, he didn't win the league.
Exactly.
Even the second, Salah, who actually was the golden boot winner, he still don't win the league. I am trying to say that United's problem right now is goal scoring.
So you feel Kane over Osimhen?
Kane over Osimhen every day, any day.
Osimhen any day. Osimhen over Kane. So before we check out, we are receiving super stickers, guys. Those who are sending their super stickers, thumbs up. We love you so much. I know we didn't announce it early, but keep them coming. Trust me, this show is here to stay. Next week, Saturday, it will be another blockbuster show. We are live on Tidy FM 99.1. Kofi, quickly, the race for the MVP in the basketball world. Who wins it for you? The season is, we are less about just about 10 games for the regular season to 8 games for the regular season to end. Who should win the MVP for you quickly in the next 60 seconds?
Well, there are big candidates in there. There's my good friend Jokic.
So let me give you the major front
There's
runners. There's Jokic, there's
Embiid.
Embiid, and there's and ironically they're all big men.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, there's Giannis, there's Jason Tatum, there's
He'll
Doncic.
fall
No,
out. All of
no,
them will
no.
fall
I
out.
agree they'll fall out, but I mean we need to put them in the conversation.
Who is it for you?
Well, I think Joel Embiid will win it this year.
Why?
I think he's been phenomenal, not just on the offensive end, defensively. Joel Embiid has been the reason why the 1-2 with James Harden, I think, is something that the 76ers have lacked for a long time. You know, the 76ers have always been a beautiful entity. In the past, they had a genuine superstar in Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
For so long a time, led that franchise, regards all of the beautiful things. But I think that since the retirement of Iverson, there's not been really a genuine superstar who has taken the NBA by storm.
Yeah.
I think that Joel Embiid has put in a ton of work. I mean, you have somebody like Jovic still doing all the things that he did. Jokic
The
doing
Joker.
Jokic doing all the things that he does. He's a fantastic big man. He's a facilitator, he's a scorer, he's a rebounder. I mean, but even with Jokic, you probably want to look at another unit like the Sacramento Kings and then Sabonis.
We'll talk
You
about
look at what
that
Sabonis
team maybe next
Sabonis
week.
is doing. He's doing a similar job like
Jokic
Jokic is doing. So I think that it will be a very difficult contest, but in the end,
Who has your vote?
I'll go for Joel Embiid.
Percy,
Third
quickly,
season
because
running.
I would have
Jokic,
to read the comment. You think he will take it again?
Third season.
I feel Giannis Antetokounmpo will break the jinx.
Oh,
Listen,
come on.
Giannis is a beast.
on, come
Giannis
on.
is a beast. The
We don't
name
want
that has
somebody
no
who's
vowels,
always
that has no
running. I don't want somebody always running on my screen, just
So,
like Salah.
My guys here have cast their vote for the MVP. We didn't have time to really delve deep into it. Next week we'll spend much of some time talking about basketball. But thank you so much, Chris Kwame Minta, for the super sticker. We love you, and those who joined us, thank you so much. Charlie, the comments are plenty. I hope I can use this few minutes. We're not able to even announce the WhatsApp line. So sorry.
The
sorry.
WhatsApp line
So
for our radio
let me
listeners.
start from okay. Yes, Lucky is the way Lucky is staring at me. I really think coaching is leadership, and I'm going to choose average. I'm going to choose average players and a great coach. Okay, good morning, guys, from Joshua Akon. Nixon, Nixon says, your pool centered on today. Premier Leagues, how about Kanu? So this is in reference to what Percy said. He feels that Sunny should not be there. Kanu should be in there. He makes mention of Quentin Fortune. I think that Quentin Fortune should not be in there. Nixon, this one there with the bag, see that man. Nixon, nah. But Nixon, shout outs to you. Top class coach, managing average players. There were the times of Sir Alex Ferguson playing John O'Shea, and I think it's true. Remember
Played
the likes
8
of
defenders.
John O'Shea. I mean,
And
Wes
two
Brown.
strikers against Arsenal, and
No,
they
it's
won.
Arsenal.
United have had players
That's
like
Arsenal.
Wes Brown.
Wes Brown.
But they were managed by a world-class manager.
Arsenal.
So let me quickly, Charlie, this thing. Do you know Celestine Babayaro? Do you know Lauren Etemaya of Arsenal? Yes, we know. Mikel Obi and Nixon. The players you are mentioning, Charlie, they are good, but they don't fit in that category. So why is Tony Yeboah not part of the poll? Tony Yeboah didn't do anything relevant in the Premier League. Maybe for Leeds United, yes. Abel says that I'm going to choose a good coach with average players. With time, these players will be better. That's what I think. Mesa Alka says, forget the poll. We don't forget the poll. Tony Yeboah and JJ Okocha were dazzling in the Premier League. Where were the likes of Salah? Tony Yeboah's numbers is nothing. What did he achieve in the Premier League? Nixon always controversial. Seriously, Drogba was a great man. If he was white, truly, we'll be talking about him. Seriously, why would anybody mention Salah and Mane in this discussion? What is it with people? They don't like Salah and Mane crowd. Pius says that any player without a CEO has no business in the list. Kanu cannot be on the list. Again, the contest is the achievement in the
Kanu
Premier
had
League.
won the Champions League.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
did
won the
it. He
Champions
did it
League
with
with
Ajax.
Van Gaal,
Nixon
yeah.
says that at Pius, the focal point of the discussion has to be with in the context of the Premier League and not European competition. The names Drogba, Essien, Yaya Toure. So Kojo Effort says that let's look at Kojo Effort's list. Salah, Drogba, Toure, Asian money. That's interesting. Babayaro over Salah, Kofi. You are not serious. So Nixon says Drogba for him, number one. PK Justice says good morning to you all. Keep up the good work. Nixon says for him that's Drogba, Toure, Asian, Salah, Quentin Fortune. Hey, Charlie, is it because you're a United fan? Charlie, the guys, forgive me. The comments are plenty. We love you for that. Let me take these ones. Emmanuel Kofi only says, but Kofi, did we sack Otu Ado? Man told us he doesn't want the work beer. So we didn't sack him in relation to what Kofi said about Otu. Nixon come back to say, Otu is the best coach for the Black Stars. I shouldn't be surprised by his statement. We were once campaign managers for Ofun Ole at a club like Manchester United. Is Otu even a coach or a scout? He asked. Then Nixon, don't mind Kofi Asiedu. He supports Ole. Kai. Let me take this one. Once again, I say thank you so much to Chris Kwache Menta, if I got the name right. Kane is overrated. United shouldn't go for him. Liverpool will be happy. He says United should go for Harry Kane. Liverpool fans will be excited because he will come and he will add nothing to the team. Franco says that, Percy, that high octane team you are referring to, no? It is Manchester United. Now you why? Nixon says United should get both and send Osimhen back to Napoli on loan. Wow, that would be wicked, Charlie. That would be wicked. Thank you, Chris, for the super sticker. Osimhen could struggle in the Premier League, but he'll be a better prospect. Kane is a goner. I agree. Kane is done and dusted. Kofi is just making noise. How can a loser like Kane help United win a title? So the poll that we put out there, should Manchester United pick Harry Kane over Osimhen? Wow, 50-50. The yes is 50, the no is 50. So it's a divided. But for my team here, it's out. But guys, this is our maiden edition for Breakfast with Sports 101. I've loved every bit of it, and I know you loved it too. And those who joined us late, trust me, next week we're bringing you a blockbuster show. We came to you live from a Noble House restaurant, amazing restaurant located at Beach Road, just off the Beach Road roundabout, opposite House 2. And is it Church of Christ, right? Yeah. So Noble House restaurant, come get the best of food, get the best of reception, everything. And more importantly, we came to you live on Tidy FM 99.1 FM, Tidy FM 99.1, amazing station as well. Guys, last words before we check out. What should listeners expect from a Breakfast with Sports 101?
Well, I think that together with Tidy FM, we are here to stay. So this is a regular fixture.
Exactly. So every Saturday, 8:30 to 10, we bring you the best breakfast when it comes to sports. Hey, Percy, any last words before we sign out?
It's a revolution.
Yeah.
It's a revolution. Don't be surprised if the rest starts following. that would be counterfeit.
But tomorrow, we are live as well. Every Sunday, 7 o'clock to 9, 2-hour hot sports. Tomorrow, we'll delve deep into Kofi's question, talking about the Black Stars and all. And we'll look ahead to their game against Angola. People are saying when we go to Angola, we are dead because they looked at that Angola team and they think they can destroy us back in Angola. But Monday, Ghana is taking on Angola. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m., we are live on Tidy FM 99.1 as well. You don't want to miss it. And make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment, and all of that. This is Sports 101. Good morning, guys.